Magandang hapon Pilipinas. Magandang hapon sa ating mga kababayan. Magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi sa sa mga kababayan natin sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo. Sinusubaybayan sa ating kwentuhan ngayong hapon ang Cafe at DOLE. Sa ating mga kasamahan sa media who are on Zoom, good afternoon sa inyo. Thank you for joining us sa ating kwentuhan ngayong araw. Ang kapiling natin, ang makakakwentuhan ngayong hapon ay walang iba kundi ang napakasipag na administrator na Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, si Administrator Hans. Good afternoon sa'yo, Hans. Kamusta ninyo at kumati ka sa ating mga
Magandang hapon, Sir Rolly, at of course sa ating mga kasamahan sa media. Magandang hapon din po sa inyo. Happy Women's Month or International Women's Month.
Bago tayo magkwentuhan, Admin Hans, may kwento ko lang na balikan lang natin ito kasing nakaraang linggo o 2 weeks ago, meron na pirmahan na UAE. Meron ka bang balita kung tuloy na yung deployment ng ating HSWs starting March 31?
Yes, naging fruitful yung negosasyon isang linggo nang nakakaraan kung saan napagkaisahan ng Pilipinas at UAE na paigtingin o dagdagan ng proteksyon ng mga domestic workers, OFW kasambahay natin sa UAE. Ayon na rin sa pinag-utos ng ating mahal na Pangulo through our Secretary of Labor, Secretary Bello. So, yung pong mga proteksyon na katulad ng sweldo at makataong paninirahan, makataong sitwasyon o kondisyon sa kanyang lugar ng pagtatrabahuhan, paghawak ng kanyang passport at cellphone, at yung sapat na at akmang pagkain para sa ating mga OFW kasambahay, yung 1 week's leave per year, at yung bonus sa katapusan ng taon. Yung mga bagay na kumbaga negotiate natin with the UAE side, at pinalad naman ang Philippine side na napagkaisahan ng both Philippines and UAE yung mga dagdag na protection. So, doon sa tanong na kung kailan ang naging target date, indicative date, dahil nandun din si Administrator Olalia, doon sa negotiating team, ay March 31, yung paglunsad ng muling documented deployment ng mga OFW sa bahay sa UAE with the stronger protections in place.
We were part of the Philippine delegate committee meeting between UAE and the Philippines. Hindi pa kailangan governing board resolution ng POA to resume the deployment.
Sa tingin ko, kung hindi man governing board resolution, of course, this is all to be decided then by the Secretary of Labor, who chairs the POA Governing Board, and Administrator Olalia and the POA Governing Board. So, kung hindi man POA Governing Board resolution, depende sa desisyon ni na Sec Bello, ay at the very least, merong implementing guidelines. O yung tinatawag na Memorandum Circular, MC, from the POA to guide the stakeholders, the recruitment industry, as well as the OFWs tungkol sa proseso ng deployment.
Okay. Tungo na tayo dito. Total, si Admin Hans, siya yung punong abala sa pag-asikaso para sa welfare ng ating mga OFWs. Hindi lamang welfare ng mga umuuwing OFWs, kundi welfare ng mga OFWs na kasalukuyan pag nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo. Pero tungayan muna natin, Admin Hans, yung mga napauwi na natin na OFWs, ilan na po ba so far ang ating na-repatriate at natulungan at nadala sa kanilang mga probinsya na OFWs since the onset of COVID?
Okay. As of today, tumatayo sa 470,000.
470,000,
approaching the 500,000 mark na ang napauwi sa kanilang mga home regions ng OFWs. Of course, I need to say na nandiyan ang DOLE OWWA, but it's also an interagency effort. DFA, DOTR, CAAP, PCG, LTRFB dahil doon nga sa mga bus, mga papuntang Luzon na OFWs, ang DOH, BOQ, MIAA, airport, and then yung DILG, and then of course yung ating kapulisan at AFP at Department of National Defense. So kailangan ko silang banggitin lahat para malinaw sa lahat na this is really a one government approach as mandated by the President.
From the very start, admin, pag sinabi natin ito yung mga umuwi at ito yung nahatid natin, ang package of assistance para dito sa mga umuwing OFWs na naapektuhan ng COVID, kasama dyan mula pagdating mag-swab hanggang sa paghatid o accommodation, food, and hanggang ngayon ba ganyan pa rin ang
Yes. Yan ang kailangan natin linawin ngayon kasi kailangan talagang paalalahanan ng mga returning OFWs kasi baka hindi na alam nung current set ng pauwi na libre pa rin po ayon sa pinag-utos ng Pangulo. Libre ang swab testing or PCR testing ng arriving OFWs. Yung quarantine hotel facility ay libre, of course, pati yung pagkain. And then yung pag-transport, once negative sa PCR test, sila ay libre din sa pag-transport sa kanilang mga home regions, whether by air, kung Visayas or Mindanao, or by land, by bus, kung through the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange or PITX. Siguro kailangan ko lang emphasize, Sir Rolly, na meron ng pinagkaiba effective February, first week of February, through IATF Resolution 96. May pinagkaiba na sa protocol. Dati kasi ang swabbing upon arrival sa airport. Ngayon, wala na yung PCR test swabbing upon arrival at sa airport. Kaya wag po kayong magugulat kung wala ng PCR test upon arrival. Kasi ang PCR test ngayon ay idinadaos sa pang-anim na araw na inilalagi sa hotel quarantine facility. Ibig sabihin, upon arrival ng OFWs, dadalhin natin sa isang hotel quarantine facility at on the 6th day ng pananatili niya doon, sa swab sila ng Philippine Coast Guard, ipaprocess ng Red Cross ang specimen, of course, shouldered by PhilHealth, yung expense ng swab testing, at pag naging negative ang resulta, saka pa lamang sila iuwi sa home LGUs. At sa figures natin ngayon, 10,000 higit kumulang ang OFWs in 140 hotel quarantine facilities. Yan pong bilang natin.
What prompted that change in the protocol, admin?
Okay, magandang tanong yan. Kasi yan ay bunsod ng pagkakaroon ng tinatawag na new COVID variant. At yung sinasabi na itong new COVID variant or strain ay mas contagious kesa doon sa dati. Kaya ang pinagkakaingatan ng IATF ay yung tinatawag na malubhang transmission ng COVID-19 virus, itong variant sa ating bansa. At meron na nga mga iniuulat, di ba ho, na pagdating dito na meron ng new COVID variant. So, pinagkakaingatan natin na sinisiguro natin na yung mga dumadating ay hindi na they properly go through what we call the period kung saan hinihintay muna na paniguro talaga na hindi nila dala o hindi sila maging symptomatic kung dala man nila yung new COVID strain o yung coronavirus. So, in short, it's a precautionary measure designed to arrest, if not decrease, yung local community transmission.
Tila mas, itong pagbabago ito, tila nag-create ng confusion among some of our returning OFWs dahil if I remember right, parang itong weekend lamang merong nag-viral yata itong post ng isang OFW na umiiyak at sinasabi na kaya siya umuwi dahil merong emergency or tila ilang araw na lang nalalabi ay kailangan na ilibing ang kanyang magulang. Pero dahil sa hindi agad na test upon arrival, so she has to wait that long.
Yes.
Kaya paano ba natin i-address ang ganitong problema?
Yes. Sa ngayon, kung babasahin yung IATF resolution, may puwang naman doon ang Department of Health, ang Secretary of Health, to determine what we call special circumstances. Okay. So, halimbawa, kung dumating yung OFW at merong urgency, ay syempre ihatid nga siya sa hotel quarantine facility at doon, kung meron siyang special circumstances o dinudulog na nais na niyang umuwi dahil namatayan siya o kaya agaw buhay ang kanyang mahal sa buhay, ama or ina, ay idudulog natin sa DOH yung special circumstance na yun. At kung nakikita ng DOH talagang kailangan talaga siyang pumunta na sa kanyang mga mahal sa buhay para dalawin o puntahan yung libing or sa ospital o ano paman, ay igagrant naman yun, provided of course, na iswab na siya at negative na yung PCR test niya. So, pwede naman po kung under tinatawag na special cases or circumstances with the approval of the Secretary of Health.
We had the same case we received yesterday, actually a request. It's forwarded to you. Isang kamag-anak ng isang kaibigan natin sa media na ang magulang ay nasa isang ospital at sila 50-50 na. So, napagbigyan naman. Yun yung
Yes. Para sila ay makaabot, agaw buhay at gusto nila makaabot sa lumalubhang kondisyon ng kanilang ama. So, nag-grant naman yun po ng Secretary of Health. So, we are in close coordination with the Department of Health, yung Secretary Duque, at yung Bureau of Quarantine, yung Doc Ferdy Salcedo at Doc Obet Salvador.
Paano yung kaso halimbawa, admin naman ng na-vaccine na sila, na-inoculate na sila from their country of origin. Dumating sila a few weeks after vaccination. And then they have to undergo the same protocol. Hindi ba sila exempted dyan sa bagong panahon?
Oh, they need to undergo the same protocol. Napakalinaw ng IATF pronouncement dyan. They really, whether or not you have received the vaccine abroad, really does not matter, to be frank about it. So, kailangan lahat dumaan sa protocols na nabanggit ko. 5-day or 6-day stay in hotel quarantine and 6-day swabbing.
You were saying earlier, admin, 140 hotel quarantine hotels,
Yes,
ba?
10,000 sila higit kumulang in 140 hotel facilities. Kasi nga, ang nangyari, dati kasi, di ba, when they arrive and they are swabbed, pag lumabas yung resulta, pwede na umuwi. So that's just around a 1 to 3 day period.
Right.
Ngayon, dahil they need to be swabbed on the 6th day, 5 days lang actually, pero 6 days yon kasi day 0 yung first day, yung arrival. So 6th day, pag sinab sila, they need to wait for 24 to 48 hours. So lalabas na mga 8 to 9 days sila sa hotel quarantine. So from 1 to 3 days to 7 to 9 days stay. Oo, so yun ang isang circumstansya natin ngayon kung saan napakaraming OFW sa hotel quarantine facilities. And yun nga, almost around 10,000 in 140 hotels. Before that, mga malaki na yung 3,000 eh. Dati, 3,000 OFWs in maybe 60 to 70 hotels.
Pero hindi ba na-overwhelm yung ating capacity ng mga hotel?
I have to admit, overwhelmed these days, no. Kaya nga we had resorted to budget hotels and facilities. Kasi nga na-overwhelm na yung mga hotels natin dito sa Metro Manila. Of course, we coordinate with the DOT on this matter. So tinutulungan naman tayo ng DOT. So yun na nga, siguro bahagi na rin ng pagka-clarify kung bakit ang mga OFWs natin, lalo na yung mga bagong dating, ang iba sa kanila ay sa budget hotel sila. They are randomly matched naman with the hotels. No? Wala naman yung sinasadyang ilagay talaga sa budget hotel just to make life difficult or what have you. But really, yun lang talaga ang dala ng circumstansya na sila ay na-assign sa budget hotel.
Pero kaya pa ba ng manpower ng OWWA?
Well, we are managing. Yun na nga, kasi every hotel has a house parent.
Yeah.
At the most, 2 to 3 house parents, depende sa dami ng OFWs. So we have also been constantly hiring mga house parents. Pinapayagan naman tayo ng DBM na mag-hire ng mga additional emergency personnel who will be our personnel on the ground, house parents sa mga quarantine facilities.
I just can imagine, admin, yung logistical requirement and even the budget, diba? Meron pa bang pondo yung mula dun sa 5 billion na
binigyan? Magandang usapin yan. Kasi we were given 6.2 billion by Congress and by the President. So we're very thankful to shoulder hotel transport and food expenses of returning OFWs. However, ito nga, pagpasok ng Enero, 14 days yan, di ba? Originally, 14 days yung quarantine period dahil sa new COVID variant. Nung first week of February, yung 14 days, naging 6 days na lang. Kaya lang, as I explained, malaki pa rin yung 6 days as compared to 1 to 3 days prior to the entry of the new COVID variant. So, as a result, talagang challenge ng ating budget ng funds natin ngayon. And we project na by April and May ay mauubos yung 2021 budget, yung 6.2 billion. So, Secretary Bello wrote to Secretary Abesado last February 24, already sounding off. May pera pa naman sa ngayon. Let's be clear about this. No? May pera pa ngayon mula from the General Appropriations Act for food, transport, accommodation costs for returning OFWs. But we are already looking forward and projecting na magkakaroon ng kakulangan ng budget around April or May. So Secretary Bello wrote sa Secretary Abisado as a preemptive measure para magkaroon na ng supplemental funding from the national government.
Regular budget and admin has, we're talking about the regular 2021 budget. We're not talking, we are not always not touching the trust fund of OWWs.
Yes, that's right. This is a budget from Congress, from the General Appropriations Act that has been approved by the Office of the President.
Meaning the money of our OFWs, it is intact with OWWA.
Yes. Of course, yung trust fund natin ngayon stands at around 18.4 billion sa OWWA. I have to admit, the funds took a hit in 2020. Like many other funds, private welfare funds, we took a hit in 2020. But we managed it kasi nga pumasok ang Office of the President, ang national government, para tulungan tayo ng 2020. And then ito sa GAA, yung Kongreso ay of course tumulong na rin.
Okay. Meron bang effort dahil mabilis maubos o napoproject na by March or May, April, ma-wipe out yung 2021? Meron ba tayong effort, aside of course from asking pa supplemental appropriation, is there a way na i-reduce yung dahil di ba parang temporary lang naman yung pag-arrest dito sa bagong variant? What is your take on how do we,
you mean yung protocols?
At least ease the burden also on OFW at the same time, ease the on resources.
I have to admit, sa ngayon may usapin tungkol dyan, but I cannot disclose further details. But kasi ano naman yan evolving document naman yung mga protocols ng IATF. There's constant review and constant discussion on how to improve the existing protocols. So, ongoing ngayon ang discussion between the different agencies, including the OWWA, DOEH, yung task group under Secretary Yano, yung one-stop shop with the USEC Raul de Rosario and the DOTR, and the SEC Art Tugade. So, ongoing naman yung discussions ngayon. But of course, I cannot disclose or say for sure kung ano yung magiging outcome ng current discussions. But definitely, there is constant review of the existing protocols.
Would you say that would probably include, say, exempting those already inoculated?
I cannot say for sure, but rest assured na napapag-usapan yung dalawang nabanggit nyo, Sir Rolly, yung welfare ng returning OFWs, and at the same time yung sustainability ng medical protocol itself. So pinag-uusapan niya.
Admin, napaka-interesting ng ating pinag-uusapan. Actually, kanina pa, maagang gusto magtanong ating mga kaibigan sa media, kaya siguro dahil madami ito, umpisahan na natin silang tawagin isa-isa. We start perhaps with Mayan of the Philippine Star. Admin, if you don't mind. Magandang hapon, Mayan, for your question.
Good afternoon po, Sir Rolly. Good afternoon, admin. Medyo maraming tanong. Pasensya na po. Tatanong ko lang po kasi nabanggit niyo yung sa cost. Magkano po ang ginagastos natin sa mga quarantine hotels? Let's say in a day. At saka ilan pa po ang ine-expect nating darating na displaced OFWs? Tapos sir, magtatanong rin po kung meron po ba kayong info na nakuha tungkol dun sa binugbog daw na ng asawa ng Polo sa Jordan na kanilang household helper?
Okay, magkaiba yung tanong na yan, Mayan. So una, yung I can give you at least estimate, no? Ang maximum cost natin per night sa isang hotel is around 3,000 pesos. It could be less, no? Depende sa klase ng hotel. So kung 5-star yan, maximum most likely of 3,000 pesos a night. And then kung lesser degree than 5-star, less than 3,000 pesos. And then we have around 10,000 OFWs right now. So ang projected daily cost niyan, kung mga 3,000 pesos times 10,000, ilan yun, Mayen?
Mahina ako sa math, sir. 300.
Ha?
Mahina ako sa math, sir. 300,000 ba? Tama ba?
Okay. And then doon sa second, habang kino-compute, yung second tanong is doon sa Jordan. Yes, we are aware of the situation, and we are coordinating right now with the DOLE, with the International Labor Affairs Bureau, and the POLO about this matter. So rest assured, we are looking into this. This is a serious allegation, and this requires the absolute protection of the OFW concerned. So currently, we are looking into this matter, and rest assured, no, there will be adequate assistance and safe repatriation of the OFW concerned.
Idagdag ko
Bali,
saglit
sir,
lang.
sorry.
May dagdag ko lang, admin. According to Director Alice of iLab, meron ng communication yung ating polo, meron ng report to the Secretary, and the Secretary has been fully appraised of the situation. So siguro kung may developments man, the Secretary will
Yes.
Will address those issues.
Yes.
Follow-up lang, sir. Ibig sabihin ba pinaprocess na yung kanyang repatriation?
Magiging option definitely yung kanyang repatriation. And yung processing kasi na tinatawag ng repatriation, Mayen, will depend on the status of the inquiry or investigation here and there in Jordan. So hindi natin pa masasabi for sure kung kailan siya makaka-uwi. And yung sinasabing processing will also be dependent on the status of the inquiry or investigation that has been mandated and overseen by Secretary Del.
Sir, yung isa na ng tanong, mga ilan pa yung ina-expect natin uuwi na naapektuhan ng COVID?
Nung simula nung taon ay around 120 to 150. So around this time, siguro meron tayo mga 80 to 100,000 na hiniling tayo.
Ang in-expect natin, sir, 80 to 100,000 until yung buong taon?
Mahirap kasi fluid ngayon ang situation, di ba, Mayen? Because of vaccine. A lot will depend on the extent and efficacy of the vaccination programs of countries worldwide. So I want to say 80 to 100,000 in the course of the year. But siguro that's all dependent on how the vaccination programs globally will work. May iba ang configuration nating lahat. Ang computation natin lahat may iba this year because of the vaccination phenomenon.
Thank you po, Admin.
Okay, salamat.
Thank you, Mayan. Admin, ang susunod natin si Zen Hernandez ng ABS-CBN. Magandang hapon, Zen.
Hi, Sir Rolly. Hi, Admin.
Hi there.
So in connection to what you said, ngayon ba napapansin natin until now na dumadami yung mga hindi na nagtutuloy umuwi, sir? Because of the vaccine programs in other countries.
Ako, ang observation ko, personal observation, tuloy pa rin eh. Tuloy pa rin. Tayong mga Pilipino, talagang gustong-gusto nating umuwi sa ating sariling bayan. And tuloy pa rin, number one, ang pag-uwi. Number two, nakikita natin na dumadagdag yung mga nagbabakasyon or returning or balik manggagawa, returning workers or balik manggagawa, vacationing, vacationing OFWs. Dumadami yun. Pumapalo na siguro sa a little over 50% yung mga vacationing OFWs, which is a good sign, right? Kasi ibig sabihin nun, nag-resume or nag-stabilize na yung trabaho ng ating mga OFWs abroad, and now they have the luxury of taking a vacation, seeing their loved ones here in the Philippines. So, yan ang nakikita natin ngayon. I don't see any paghupa eh. Although it might help nga, kaya one reason why I'm here today, we're thankful to Sir Rolly, is to explain the protocol. So OFWs can make their necessary judgment calls about whether to come home in light of the 6-day RT-PCR testing requirement right now.
Mhm. Yun nga din admin ano, yung katulad ng text ko sa inyo kasi anniversary na rin ng lockdown. It's been almost a year since we've been doing these yung mga repatriation, and through the year since 2020 marami kayong narinig. Syempre hindi naman perfect ano. May mga OFW nagreklamo tungkol sa tagal ng kanilang swab test, sa tagalan sa pag-uwi. Pero how hard was it on your end, sir, also to conduct itong massive na repatriation ng mga OFWs?
Alam mo, I'll be honest, no? I would not see it in terms of being difficult or being easy. It was a call. It was a call to serve, no less from the president, and of course by the circumstances, no, yung pandemic. And really, we had decided at the OWWA, through also the leadership of Secretary Bello, to respond to this clarion call. So para sa amin, it's not a measure of whether it's difficult or not. It's something that we must do. And I'm so very proud of our OWWA frontliners. Ayoko pa talaga lubusin yung kaligayahan kasi hindi pa tapos eh. Nasa gitna pa tayo ng laban eh. But what I can say is that we serve around 10 to 12,000 OFWs, returning OFWs every day. Yung mga lumalapag sa NAIA, yung mga nasa hotel quarantine, yung mga lumalabas sa hotel quarantine at dinadala sa home LGUs. And when I say 10 to 12,000, hindi ko ibig sabihin yan na virtual o hindi namin sila nakikita in tangible terms. Our people on the front lines, administrative crew, bus officers, hotel house parents, yung ating mga processors sa PITX at saka sa NAIA, eh ganun na lamang, nurses and midwives who are roaming and checking on the medical condition of our OFWs in hotel quarantine, eh talagang literally frontliners at nakahalubilo ng ating mga tao sa OWWA, yung mga mahal nating OFWs. Of course, we have to really give credit to the secretary and to the president who gave us the inspiration and the direction to do all the things that we did and to improve on all the areas that we needed to build on in 2020 and at present.
Your message po doon sa mga OFW whose experience may not have been perfect. May iba yung assistance, syempre of course nandun yung mga reklamo na matagal bago natanggap, sir. What have we done to improve also the system?
Yes, the wonderful thing is I forgot to mention the IATF, Sec Charlie, Sec Vince, Yusek Llano, Sec Del Lorenzana, Sec Artugade. Yan ang mga guiding lights din namin aside from Sec Delio and the President, of course. At sila yung nababanggit ko kasi pag sinabi mo, Zen, na yung mga imperfections and areas of improvement, sila rin mismo steered the ship. Kasi yung mga imperfections, dahil one government approach kami, are shared with all the other government agencies. At tulungan-tulungan kami niyan. Ako, matagal na ako sa government. My 20th year this year. At ngayon ko lang talaga nakita yung massive interagency effort. The perfections and imperfections all together, putting our heads together, pinagsama-sama yan. So we really saw this as a challenge government-wide. And we took on each and every challenge, and we still do to this day. And so we're very, very thankful. I think I need to mention the Red Cross also, sina Sendic Gordon and the PhilHealth. Kasama rin natin sila sa effort.
So yun na lang po yung huli. Yung assistance natin, yung AKAP, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ba yan? And syempre may mga pakiusap na yung mga non-OWWA members. Hindi ba sila pwedeng matulungan, sir?
Okay, first of all, yung non-OWWA members are documented. Kasama yan sa return effort, di ba? As you know. So yung 470,000 na sinasabi ko kanina, basta OFW. Okay, regardless of status, regardless of OWWA membership, active, inactive, or non-member. Kasali sila. At tama ka, ito palang pinag-uusapan pa natin at this point, wala pa dyan yung social benefit and social amelioration programs. That's the other half of the work that we do at the OWWA. Of course, Secretary Bello has spearheaded the DOLE AKAP Cash Financial Assistance Program. Kasama tayo doon. Tuloy-tuloy lang po ito, mga processors natin. And then yung Tabang OFW in partnership with CHED and DOLE and the Office of Senator Bongo, yung scholarship for collegiate level dependents of displaced OFWs. And then yung ating livelihood, yung Balik Pilipinas, Balik Hanap Buhay, 20,000 peso cash grant. And then yung Tulong Puso group livelihood naman. Scholarship, meron din tayong mga scholarship programs para sa anak ng mga kasambahay. And then itong mga matataas ang grado ng mga OFW, patuloy pa rin. Skills enhancement, patuloy din pa rin lahat ng mga programs natin. Calamity assistance, dahil nga dito sa mga bagyo na sunod-sunod nung katapusan ng taon, sana hindi na magkaroon ng kalamidad. Pero nandyan din, nakaabang din yung calamity assistance programs natin sa OWWA. So tuloy-tuloy lang po yung lahat na yan. Yung mga processors, evaluators natin. Finally, I need to talk about the support to frontliners. Kasi ito naman mga frontliners natin are supported by the finance groups, the HR groups, the administrative divisions in the OWWA. So gusto ko rin banggitin yung mga support to frontliner teams natin.
Alright, pero yung in terms of yung bilis po ng pagproseso, what are we doing lang to address yon, yung mga concerns lang po sa tagal ng release?
Yes, unang-una meron ng system na set up through the IATF and then yung DOLE Oasis program, yung registration program, yung online, yung IT system, yung virtual system ng registration, QR coding, yung receipt of the results, test PCR results through email, yung pagbato ng listahan sa mga hotels at sa mga PITX at NAIA officers natin para ma-process yung departure sa mga airlines, sa bus companies yan. Kompleto yung mga systems natin, they are all in place para ma-improve ito so that kapag may problema, may konting delay in a certain area, madaling i-tweak kasi broken down na yung processes through an information technology system at madaling makumpuni. Hindi ko sinasabing perfecto, as you said then, it's still an imperfect process, but at least ang mahalaga dito, each and every time na may breakdown or may delay, we are always in a position to repair the delay.
Last na lang, sorry sa mga kasamahan ko, yung AKAP po, pagbibigay ng cash assistance, sir, how are we fast-tracking lang yung proseso?
Yes, in the Philippines alone, we are approaching the 400,000 mark ng mga nabigyan. Di pa kasama yung mga nabigyan sa abroad. Kaya patuloy lang, we got fresh funding of around 450 million. So galing pa rin ito sa Bayanihan 2. As you know, may extension ng Bayanihan 2. So patuloy lang ating processing. And hopefully it gets to a point na magtagpo na yung Bayanihan 3 kung meron man. At yung Bayanihan 2 para tuloy-tuloy lang yung ating AKAP dito. Yung AKAP kasi, DOLE AKAP kasi is a GAA congressionally funded, presidentially approved program.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Salamat.
Salamat, Zen. Mahaba yung accomplishments na kwento mo, admin. Pero madami pang tanong sa ating mga kaibigan sa media. Sunod natin, admin, si Ray Pelayo ng UNTV. Good afternoon, Ray.
Hi, Ray.
Hi, admin. Hi, Sir Ronnie. Magandang hapon po. Sir, confirm ko lang, admin, tama po ba? 30 million a day, yung pong lalabas na gastos dun sa accommodation po sa hotel nung 10,000 na OFW?
Yes. Yes. 30 million a day.
Laki po pala. Pero pa po dun yung ibang mga transportation, yung binabanggit yung iba pang ginagawa niyo sa mga OFW na umuwi po, ano?
Wala pa yung food and transport doon. Wala pa yung food and transport. Yun na yung hotel accommodation lamang. Of course, kasama na sa hotel accommodation yung food nila while they are there. Pero kasi may food cost din tayo. Paglapag pa lang sa airport, they are already provided food. Pag hinatid sa PITX at NAIA 2, may food din tayo doon na nakaabang sa mga OFWs bago ilipad or transport by bus. So meron din tayo mga food expenses aside from the hotel food costs. So, and then of course, airline fare, bus fare, yan. Minsan may mga barko na kailangan isakay sa barko. So yon, kasama na rin yon yung boat fare.
Admin, na lang po. Hindi ko lang po alam kung sa inyo po din ito. Kasi ngayon pataas po ang kaso ng COVID dito sa Pilipinas and meron pong ongoing na negotiation nga tayo sa UK para sa exemption nila doon sa 5,000 cap ng mga health worker. Do you think po na magdadalawang isip na ba tayo doon dahil pataas po ang cases dito sa Pilipinas po?
Siguro ay tama ka, medyo hindi ko area yan, Ray. I will leave that to Secretary Delio, whom I personally know is on top of the situation. And then of course, Sec Duque and the IATF.
Thank you po, Admin.
Thank you,
Thank
Ray.
you, Ray.
Admin, susunod naman natin si Sam Dinilla ng business mayor. Magandang hapon, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Hey, good afternoon po, sir. Good afternoon. Hey, Sir Rolly, good afternoon po, admin. Sir, mag-inquire lang po kami kung magkano po yung additional budget na ni-request po ng OWWA sa DBM para po dun sa mga accommodation ng OFWs. Tsaka hanggang for what period po yung budget na nire-request po nila?
The remainder of the year yon, so 9.8 billion. 9.8 billion.
As lang po,
But Sam, that is subject to the condition na the same conditions prevail, no? Yung 6 days swabbing, 8 to 9 day duration of stay ng OFWs in hotel quarantine facility.
meron na pong reaction po yung DBM po dun sa budget request namin.
We're thankful to Sec Abisado kasi in principle we know na handa naman tumulong ang DBM. But of course, we are still coordinating with the DBM and discussing with them the mechanics of the supplemental funding that we are proposing.
Tanong ko lang po ulit yung nabanggit po kanina ni Sir Roddy. Kung sakali pong hindi mag-grant yung budget, ano yung po yung potential consequences kapag hindi po nabigay yung additional funding sa OWWA?
Kasi ngayon, Sam, hindi namin ina-assume na hindi siya mag-grant in the sense that we are coordinating. We have received positive signals from the DBM. So it's really just a matter of when and how much. So we are coordinating with the DBM for the finer points. Kasi naman yung aming proposal comes with a breakdown, syempre, no? So we are discussing with them the finer points of our supplementary funding proposal.
Tapos sir, punta naman po ako dun sa nabanggit po nila kanina na medyo naka-impact nga po yung COVID-19 dun sa funding ng OWWA last year. Currently po, magkano po yung fund ng OWWA under sa trust fund? At saka naka-apekto rin po ba yung COVID-19 pagdating dun sa membership fees na nakukuha ng OWWA? Kasi medyo konti yung na-deploy last year.
Yes, we experienced around the 60% drop sa membership contributions, Sam. Right now, the fund stands at around 18.4 billion. 18.4 billion.
Based po sa actuarial studies po, mga gaano po katagal yung itatagal ng trust fund kapag mag-continue po yung trend ng pag-decline sa membership fees?
Well, sa ngayon, tayo naman ay hindi in the red, no? Let me clarify that. And we've managed to balance our funds kasi nga ang laking tulong ng national government support. Last year, meron tayong pronounced depletion by the end of 2021 kung walang national government support. Pero nabigyan na tayo Nabigyan na tayo ng national government support 5.2 billion last year, and this year at the very least 6.2 billion. So hindi ko na nakikita yung scenario, Sam, ng depletion ng OWWA fund kasi nababalansin na natin ngayon. Our programs are ongoing at hindi na tayo sumasagot o gumugugol ng halaga ng fund sa food transport accommodation. So balansyado tayo ngayon, Sam.
May projection po kaya tayo kung hanggang kailan yung OWWA fund po ngayon, yung parang sustainability po ng trust fund?
Yun nga, wala tayong projection ng kung hanggang kailan yung fund, Sam. Ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy lang tayo. Tuloy-tuloy lang tayo sa pagpapatakbo ng mga programa natin sa OWWA. At sa ngayon, hindi natin nakikita yung depletion ng fund because nga, nakakuha na tayo ng tulong sa national government despite yung challenges that we face, no? So, yung budget natin, to give you an idea, for yung budget natin for 2021, naka-factor in na ron, Sam, yung sinasabi ko kanina, reduction ng contributions. So, we already are balancing our budget and know na hindi under threat sa ngayon yung OWWA Trust Fund.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Rolly, tsaka Sir Admin Cacdac. Thank you po.
Salamat sa
Thank you, Sam. Admin, meron pa. Ito, hindi ko matugod yung mga tanong nito. Tawagin natin si Donna. Donna, magandang hapon. Admin is ready for your question.
Hi, Donna.
Donna, good afternoon. Nawala si Donna. Okay. Nawala si Donna. Anyway, admin. Medyo siguro na-misinterpret ng iba nating kaibigan yung ano, na nagagalaw. Yun nga, dapat natin ilinaw na the trust fund of OWWA, hindi po yan nagagalaw.
Yes.
Kumbaga, yan ay nakaalat talaga sa welfare, yun yung livelihood. Yan. May pautang pala ang OWWA. Pwede mong ikwento din.
Actually, wala tayong pautang ngayon, mga grants. Mga grants sa mga programa natin. Yung tulong puso, yung group livelihood na tinatawag ko is a 100,000 to 1 million peso grant. And already, nagkaroon na tayo ng first set of awardees, 3 OFW groups in Region 8, in Samar and Leyte. So, meron na tayong ongoing group livelihood. Pati yung individual livelihood is also a grant. Hindi rin yan pautang. So, wala ho tayong loan programs ngayon kasi in the past, about 30 years ago, ay hininto na ito, yung mga loan programs.
Right. So, puro grants.
Yeah.
Admin, nakita ko nagtanong si Malu Bartolome. Magandang hapon sa iyo, Malu.
Hi, Malu.
Admin Hans is here for your question. Go ahead, Malu.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me po?
Yes.
Sir, ask ko lang po kasi I understand whenever an OFW goes out of the country, no, di ba, nire-require na kumuha ng insurance, right? So one of the insurance na binibili ng mga OFWs or yung mga employer nila, yung repatriation insurance, right? So nakaka-claim ba tayo doon whenever an OFW comes back due to pandemic? Kasi you were saying may problema na kayo ngayon with the funds. Baka maubos na.
Natanong na yan in the past. Ang sagot namin is, yes, there will be a time when we will have to think about yung claiming from the insurers, from the recruitment agencies in terms of yung repatriation cost na pinagagastusan natin. Pero sa akin, ganang akin, this is not yet the time to do that. There will be a day of reckoning for this. Kasi nasa gitna pa tayo ng pandemya. Linawin ko lang na ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung repatriation cost ng isang pagpapauwi sa isang OFW na sinagot ng Philippine government. At hindi naman lahat ng mga umuuwing OFW sa ngayon ay sinasagot ng Philippine government in a sense that binabayaran yung plete pauwi. I would say siguro sa mga umuwing OFWs, maybe 30 to 40% dito ang sinagot ng Philippine government. So ito yung pagtutuusan natin in short, or in other words, dito natin aalamin kung yung 30 to 40% na yon na tinustusan ng Philippine government yung repatriation cost ay covered under an insurance policy. Kasi iba pang usapin yon whether or not covered ng insurance policy ng OFW. Kasi yung plano na sinasabi mo, Malu, covers only newly hired workers, which is around 30% only of OFWs. So hindi lahat ng OFWs are covered by the insurance policy or program that you mentioned. So may kwentahan pa yan, may reckoning yan. But in my view, because we're still in the middle of the pandemic, now is not the right time to do that yet. Kasi nasa larangan pa tayo ng pagpapauwi, medical protocols, pagpapauwi, and then of course, pag-protect ng mga Philippine communities, di ba? Vaccination, etc. So nandun pa tayo sa bahagi na yun eh. So there will be a right time to run after those who are liable.
Salamat, Admin.
Thank you. Thank you, Malu. Admin, balikan ko lang yung yung 6 days after arrival, tsaka pa lang isa-swab. Is it possible? Halimbawa, dahil nga, halimbawa, kung meron akong kaso na ano, yung kaso ni Laika Manongsong, dumating ng 8, gusto ng kasama ng kaibigan, nagbakasyon from Saudi, galing King Faisal Hospital, pero nakapag-vaccinate na doon, na-oculate ng before arrival. Pwede ba na, di ba, nandyan sila sa isang quarantine hotel sa Quezon City, and they just simply get a test from outside then present down so that they can go home earlier? Meron bang ganung posibilidad?
Sa ngayon kasi, they make a request and then it is the government that facilitates their swabbing. So sa ngayon, hindi ko nakikita yung possibility na gano'n. Bakit? Kasi mabuti sana kung isang tao lang, Sir Rolly, yung humiling nun. Pero magiging komplikado na o unwieldy na kung lahat na lang gano'n, magpapasukan sa hotel or wherever yung mga private clinics o sino man na magko-conduct ng PCR test. So para sa akin, the fewer people in the hotel, who go into the hotel, the better. So sa ngayon, ang inaatasang mag-conduct ng swab test is the Coast Guard. So hanggat maaari, ilimit natin sa ganun. Yun nga, sabi ko kanina, in exceptional cases, it's really elevated to the Secretary of Health or the Department of Health to make that decision. Kasi sila nga ang nag-judgment call pertaining to medical protocols.
Ayun, kahit na sila ay hindi repatriates, kahit na ito yung mga vacationing OFWs lang.
Yes. Kahit na sila vacationing OFWs lang, ganun din ang protocol. 6 days swabbing. Yeah.
Pero di sa mga magulang ng mga umuwing OFWs, kasi Mr. Manongsong, hintay mo lang yung anak mo, makakauwi din niya sa'yo. Kasi namimiss na daw nila. Dahil matagal na wala. Kaya,
okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, it won't take long and ang Coast Guard has been very efficient. Yung 6 days swabbing, very efficient.
Do you still have further questions? Admin, wala nang magtatanong sa ating mga kasamahan sa media. Siguro baka meron kang final words sa ating mga kaibigan, lalo na yung mga pamilya ng OFWs. At yung mismo mga OFWs na nagreklamo, naiinip,
Yes, salamat. Maraming salamat, Sir Rolly, sa pagkakataon. Umasa po kayo na patuloy tayo maninilbihan. Yung banggit nga kanina na lagpas 1 taon na ang nakaraan mula nung ipinataw or lumabas sa balita o lumabas itong coronavirus. So patuloy lang po tayong maninilbihan sa OWWA ayon sa mandato ng batas at sa mandato ng ating ama ng OFW, sa ating Pangulo. And then of course yung ating mga food, transport, accommodation, assistance, yung mga frontliners natin will be already in place. Yung mga social amelioration and social benefit programs natin, livelihood, financial assistance, scholarship, calamity, etc. are also in place and currently in full swing. So manalig lang po kayo. Pasensya lang po ang hinihingi ko kasi napakarami po talaga ng humingi ng tulong ngayon. Yung welfare cases natin, patuloy po yan on-site. Yung mga welfare officers natin na sumasagip at nagpapauwi na ligtas sa mga OFWs, katuwangan DOLE Polo at DFA. So manalig lang po kayo, konting pasensya lang ang hinihingi ko. Ang hotline natin 1348. 1348, the first DOLE 1349. So manalig kayo at pagdasal po natin ang isa't isa. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Administrator Hans Leo Cacdac ng Overseas Workers Welfare Administration. That was a very, very interesting conversation we had with Admin Hans. Bago ako bumitaw, nais ko pong sabihin sa ating mga kababayan na nag-umpisa na po kahapon yung special edition po ng ating online na VCafe. Ang tawag po natin dito ay Sagot Ka ng DOLE. We started with Undersecretary Bedjo Benavides yesterday and we intend to have it every other day. So Thursday, tomorrow, will be the second edition. It was a very fruitful engagement that we had, that the department had sa blessing po ng ating Secretary Silvestre Bello. Nagkaroon po tayo ng ganitong programa upang tuwiran at diretsahang matugunan ng mga concerns at mga inilalapit ng ating mga kababayang manggagawa, mga OFW man o mga manggagawang nandito sa ating bansa. Kaya sa ngalan po ng ating kalihip, sa ngalan po ng Department of Labor and Employment, nais po namin kayong pasalamatan muli ang ating po mga kaibigan sa media, gayon din po ang ating mga kasamahan sa Department of Labor sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo, gayon din po sa ating mga kasamahan sa department sa iba't ibang bahagi ng Pilipinas. Tulad ng lagi binibili ni Secretary Bello, mag-ingat po tayong lahat at mahaba pa ang laban dito sa COVID-19. Maraming salamat po. Thank you again, Admin Hans.
Salamat sa inyo. Salamat po.
Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat.